Welcome back to my channel. I apologize now for just my overall appearance and any distractedness I might have. I'm sick, I have a head cold, and I'm in hell. But we are here with our next character breakdown video, and this one is for my original Harry Potter character, or the first Harry Potter character I made, I should say, Heidi Lily Potter. I don't want to explain the Harry Potter fandom, but we'll give a little bit of background just for those who may not know and have been living under a rock. Harry Potter is about an orphan boy who lives with his non-magical aunt and uncle, and upon the approachment of his 11th birthday, learns that he is a wizard and that his parents were a wizard and witch. Each book is 1 year of schooling, and each book follows him through the trials and the troubles that he finds along the way, or as Harry likes to say it, the troubles that find him. Heidi came about, like many of my characters, she was a voice in the back of my head, shouting at Harry, pointing at things that could have been done differently. Every time I read a book or watched one of the movies, that's where she was. And during my junior year of high school, I finally gave in and started writing down these words, this shouting and everything, and it became a person, and that person became Heidi. Fun fact about Heidi is she is one of the few characters whose name I didn't second guess after giving it to her. I run through a gauntlet of names before settling on one that sounds right to me, but with Heidi, it was just right from the beginning. Her name was Heidi. Something to know about Heidi is she is a by-the-book character, literally. Her stories follow the books. They are based off of the events of the books. And that is because I love all the details that they weren't able to put into the books that they decided to leave out. I'm a nightmare to go to the movies with. Just trust me, I'm a nightmare. Right away with creating Heidi, though, I knew I wanted her to be like a little Lily. Like Harry is a clone of James. I wanted Heidi to be like that with Lily, but I left her having her mom's eyes instead of giving her her father's eyes, so she would have been an exact parallel of her brother. There was just something about a nearly exact clone of Lily that felt right. The only physical feature she shares with her father is his untamable hair. She has her mom's hair color, but it is the same wild and crazy hair that her father and brother have. The easiest part about writing Heidi is her love of books. She is a bookworm to the extreme. We actually start off her first story with her having fallen asleep in the library and Harry waking her up the next morning. Like a good chunk of my characters, she's very adept at drawing and sketching, but her true love is to curl up with a hot chocolate in front of the fire with a good book and the people she loves around her. It's her escape, her peace in a world where things are almost never in her control. It is her way of just shutting out all of that and just taking some time to be calm. Funniest part is, though, is for all of my characters who love reading, I have not always been the avid reader I am. I have not always loved reading. I actually had to be forced to learn how at the age of 6 at the beginning of first grade, because I figured I went through preschool and kindergarten knowing how to just read my own name and figured that was fine. They didn't agree. But once I fell in love with it, it was an impossible thing for me not to share, even if it meant only with my own characters. Heidi is one of my characters that has an amazing relationship with her older brother. And for me, that's very hard to write, because while I know what it's like having older brothers, I've never known enough of a positive side to having older brothers to write the bond that they have. The brother I grew up with was amazing towards our younger sister. Absolutely amazing. But he and I were in a very much love-hate relationship. And we still are to this day. So it makes writing Harry and Heidi very difficult. When they're fighting, it's easy, no problem. Got plenty of experience with that with all my siblings. But getting along and Harry truly caring about what happens to Heidi is very foreign to me. It's hard for me to write as a good father-child relationship. However, I am getting better at it now that Heidi's going through a lot of really bad times, and caring about what's happening to her is really the only thing Harry can do to help her. One of the things about Heidi is she doesn't take anyone's crap. She has a very quick temper. I've actually been accused of making her too angry and that she needs anger management. And all I have to say to that is put yourself in her shoes. There's this dark wizard out there who's hell-bent on killing her brother. There's nothing she can do most of the time but stand back and watch as he goes through all this crap. Wouldn't you be angry? Wouldn't you lash out at people? The best way it's ever gotten her into trouble, and probably some of the best memories of writing Heidi, is when she will hex Draco. Never enough to hurt him because she's not cruel, but she almost vents her anger at him because, you know, he's Draco and he's her cousin, so I guess it's a little bit of a safe zone there. And in a way, it actually helps him understand her a bit more in the current book I'm working on, which is Half-Blood Prince. I'm honest, anytime Heidi interacts with Draco is a favorite memory because the dynamic between them is just so fun and genuine that watching it evolve through the books has become so amazing to me. I never imagined that they'd have this kind of close relationship that they do. I imagined she'd be like Harry. I did imagine she'd be like Harry the entire time, you know, not being able to stand him, constantly getting into fights with him, not trusting him, but she sees what he's going through. She understands both sides of it, and it is a very rare gift that she has. My worst memory when it came to Heidi, as anyone who reads my stories will know, was a decision I made very early in the writings of her. And that was for her to be bitten and turned into a werewolf. I honestly settled on this idea probably before I started really, really writing the books for her. And it was always tucked in the back of my mind with each one. I was looking for places to put it, to have it happen where it could best fit in. Was the aim of each chapter, was the aim of each chapter, it was the aim of each event she went through. Finally, it came down to book 6 and Christmas time. Anyone who does not know book 6, Remus spends pretty much the entire book undercover for the Order in Fenrir Greyback's werewolf pack. Greyback is the one who turned Remus, and Remus, obviously, in order to be accepted into the pack, had to convince Greyback that he didn't have anyone, that he was, so, you know, he probably said some horrible things about those who care about him and love him and everything. But he did it to do what he needs to do, and I should note, I'm only revealing this because I've already posted this chapter. I have run this gauntlet and put it out there for everyone to read. I always knew writing the scene where she got bit was going to suck. I knew it was going to be hard to do. I knew it was going to be... I knew her waking up and realizing what had happened was going to be hard. Writing Remus finding out was going to be hard because he's basically a second father to her. So, you know, all that, I knew it was going to be difficult. What I didn't realize was the truly hard part was everybody else's reactions. Her guardians, her siblings, her friends, the kids at school, that we haven't seen much of that yet. It's the same when I wrote her first transformation. Yes, it was terrible for Heidi. She was going through immense pain, but it was the people who had to watch her go through it and knew there was nothing they could do to help her. That was the truly hard part to write. And it's still hard because everyone's still dealing with it. She's only been a werewolf, and where I'm currently writing, she's only been a werewolf for a couple of months. It's still very hard to adjust and write, and she's having a hard time adjusting to it, and it's just, the whole thing surrounding it is so much bigger and more complicated than I thought it was going to be. But at the same time, I don't regret it because, like I said, this is something I've had end goal in mind since before the beginning. When I started writing Heidi, I just wanted someone there for Harry who was family and wasn't going to be killed or leave or anything. I mean, yeah, he had his friends and his teachers and his you know, Hedwig, but left and right, every time he got a little piece of family, it was snatched away from him, and I wanted to change that. Thus, I created Heidi. I finally took, you know, all those thoughts and everything, and I turned them into a family member who would not leave. But from there, it sprouted into so much more. I ended up twisting details of the past, changing ages to fit what I saw in my mind. The siblings are not raised by Lily's sister. They are raised by their true family. Those their parents saw as family, because as we know, Lily did not speak with her sister. So I have them raised by the people their parents saw as family. And while it doesn't change things and make them magically easier, it does add back a familial element that I enjoyed reading and writing when it was there. And I've been told that, in my reviews, I've been told that reading Heidi is like reading a whole new book series, which is flattering beyond words. And it's almost like that's what I wanted. I didn't want to rewrite the books completely. I did not want to, you know, get rid of J.K. Rowling's work because it was amazing. It is amazing, and it will forever be amazing. I'll be reading that when I have kids to them. I'll be reading it to them when they're still in the womb. But I did want another perspective, and Heidi gave us that. Heidi still has an entire book and a good chunk of Half-Blood Prince to go before she's done. And then there's the Cursed Child to consider, you know, the past before they started school, and, you know, the in-between years, you know, those 19 years before the end of Deathly Hallows. So it's going to be a long time before Heidi ends, and I'm looking forward to writing all that. Can you tell I'm not good at saying goodbye to my characters? I think I've only completely finished one character. I have completely finished one character. That is sad. For those interested, you can read the first of Heidi's stories in the link down below. All others can be found starting with the same heading of her full name, Heidi Lily Potter, on my fanfiction profile. I have started cross-posting them onto my Archive of Our Own profile. I will link that one as well. As you can tell, I'm not very creative when it comes to my titles. That is, my creativity goes into my writing, so I don't have time for titles. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to give it a thumbs up if you did. Comment down below your opinion on Harry Potter. Favorite pairing. I'm always going to ask you that. I love asking that with my fandoms. Give me your favorite pairing. Let me know if you've read Heidi, and if you have, let me know what you think. I apologize profusely for the lack of updates before this year began. And yeah, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, not to mention the little notification bell so you get a notification every time I upload. And I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye!